they are now seeking $150 million in damages.
Now that is a huge verdict, to be sure, but it is one that will do justice to the level of harm done in this case. Harm that was done to the grieving parents of murdered children who have had to endure for 10 years the most despicable and vile campaign of defamation and slander in American history.
Well, today, Jones's lawyers claimed that thousands were questioning the shooting, not just him, all because of what he called, quote, bad coverage, unquote, by the mainstream media. The mass killing occurred 10 years ago this December in Newtown, Connecticut. 6 adults, 20 children were murdered. Joining me now is the New York Times' Elizabeth Williamson, who has been covering the trial from Austin, Texas. She's also the author of Sandy Hook, An American Tragedy and the Battle for Truth, published earlier this year. You've been following, Elizabeth, this story and the consequences of Alex Jones's lies about the Sandy Hook shootings for years. What stood out to you in court today?
Hey, Anderson, thanks for having me on. I think what stood out to me is that this is the first time that we have heard a dollar figure attached to the suffering that these families have gone through after Alex Jones began spreading lies about Sandy Hook, that it was a government hoax in service to gun control. So this is an attempt to sort of, put a material value on what they've gone through as that sort of secondary trauma after the shooting itself.
The $150 million in damages, $75 million of that represents $1 from each person who didn't believe the shooting occurred because of false information pushed by Alex Jones. That's what the lawyers are saying. I'm wondering what the reaction from Jones was when that number was set in court.
He was visibly unnerved by that. It's kind of a complicated formula that the lawyers came up with after Monday when Jones's own lawyer suggested that they might seek a single dollar in damages. And he extended this argument that the parents' loss of their son, Jesse Lewis, was so enormous that anything Jones could have said or done was just sort of paled in comparison